Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Like I always start every video with. If you don't like how I start every video with that, or at least try to start a video with that, feel free to go right outside that door, because I don't want you here. I don't want, the negative comments on my channel, but it also helps generate income from my hobby and things like that, which YouTube is a hobby that I enjoy doing very much. So you're probably thinking to yourselves, what are you doing in the shop? I'm just looking over this John Deere 7000 corn planter, getting ready to grease the thing. We went through this about, was it 3 years? 4 years? 3 years? It must have been, no. I don't fully remember. But we put all new disc wheels on this corn planter. These are the what makes you furrow. So that way when you get back, these are what try to make a furrow. Then these are the furrow makers. I don't really know the correct terminology for those, yeah, just looking this thing over and just thinking to myself, I just got done subscribing to another YouTuber. Okay, and I will pull him up. No, I don't want the weather. I'm gonna say his channel name is, oh yes, Thomas Farms, and I believe the TN is Tennessee. Please correct me if I'm wrong, sir. If you happen to stumble across my videos, I encourage you, welcome, stick around for the fun. He was talking about $3 corn, okay? Are we going to be able to make it with $3 corn? And I will say, absolutely. I mean, if you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, God is so much bigger than our problems in this world that I don't understand why more people do not turn to Him for their problems instead of turning to the world. But hey, it all started with Adam and Eve eating from that particular tree that they were told not to eat of, the knowledge of good and evil, that the serpent Satan tricked them into eating in the Garden of Gethsemane. So with that being said, we're going to plant less corn and more beans, because beans are so much easier to plant than corn is. I'm not saying that corn is the hardest thing to plant. It just is more time consuming. But that is how corn is if you want to have a good crop. This has been a darn good planter. I would actually like the opportunity to plant corn if I was ever given the opportunity to. I understand with $3 corn that you cannot waste it. That means you have to be ever so darn careful when filling the seed boxes that are these guys back here. I think these are insecticide boxes. I don't remember, but I do know that, yes, these are corn boxes, because you can see the stain right there. Okay, these are where the corn goes in. I believe, yes, these are the corn boxes, because we took them off this thing when we rebuilt it, and we labeled each and every one of, are these? No. These are the corn boxes because they're bigger. Okay, this is just spare giblets and stuff that we keep in the box. So what you do is I had to work on these boxes, and I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that little guy down in there, but that little guy had to come out. We had to do some work to it. So what you do is you take your boxes off of this planter, and then you just take everything out, unbolt them, and life will be good. That is probably not what we're gonna get into today. I had thoughts of maybe greasing this machine, just because I think Dad and Jason went up to Atwater, so why can't I put some grease in this thing? I don't think it needs much other than, like I said, a good greasing. I will probably have to go find a book, because if this is anything like the grain drill was, there is 2 grease fittings there, one on each side in plain day. There's one back here behind this lever. Okay, if that is what how things are on a corn planter, and I believe there is 1 or 2, maybe one on the cylinder. No. Why isn't there one on the cylinder? I don't know. I did not manufacture this drill, or this, yeah. It's a corn drill, basically. Corn planter, corn drill, whatever you want to call it. There should be one down here on the hub, and I'm not feeling it. Is there one on the sprocket for the chain? No, that is why I'm saying I will have to go consult the operator's book, because, or the operator's manual, because I do not know. And I got all excited because I thought there was a grease fitting there. That is just dirt and everything on that sprocket there. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that writing there is, but no, there's no grease fitting there. Got all excited once again because I thought, you know what? Maybe there is a grease fitting there. No, it don't. No, it goes all the way through. That's a roll pin. That's a oh shoot, what's the correct term? Yeah, my mind just went blank. Pop rivet. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but I don't think pop rivets can go through steel. So we're gonna take, like I said, I'm gonna go find a book. We're gonna grease them 2 fittings down there on each and every one of them 6 rows, just so that the thing is greased. We got to do something to stay productive. We can't sit around and be lazy. That is not making any money. We got the markers. They are somewhere in a shop. I just brought the thing over. It is, believe it or not, a good inch on each side. Narrower than that grain drill, believe it or not. And that has to do with the way that these marker arms are positioned. Now, the reason why we take them all the way out is because we have a lower structure that we back the thing in during the winter time to keep it out of the weather. We used to put it next door over in the tool shed over there, but we rearranged things, and this does no longer stay over here. So yeah, plus I think we're going to be getting new marker wheels too, because the other ones are no bueno. They have sucked ever since Dad has bought this planter. I do not think he bought this thing new. If he did, my apologies, but let me go find that book and we will get to greasing. So I was looking for the operator's book and I happened to see this Shoop book here opened. That is what this is, Shoop Manufacturing. I don't know what he's got planned, whether it be getting new closing wheels or bushing arm kits for the closing wheels. That is that grease fitting right there for the gauge wheel arm kit, and that is what the gauge wheel rides up and down on, is that arm. I don't know what he's going to be doing, or if he's going to be getting the mud scraper kit. I don't know, so let's just not grease the thing. I think that would be better to just let it alone, because, well, let's go for a walk, okay? Because in my mind, it's saying, if he's gonna take, you know, these guys here, these are the bushing arm kit, and that is old grease. If he's going to be replacing this, and you know, why put grease in it if you're just going to be taking this apart? You take this, you bolt out, and this comes right out with it. I don't know what he's going to be doing, so it's just better off that I not grease the thing, because you put grease in them bushings and the bearings and everything, and you just have to take the grease. You just have to go and grab a greasy pin and all that, and we don't want to waste grease, especially with $3 corn. We want to try and keep things a lot less broken this year, and a couple of ways that I myself have made a commitment to not being so hard on things. I do need to go get some grease, so maybe I will go do that, because I see we are out of grease, or no bueno. But this is the kind of grease we use for pins and things in the tractors and stuff like that. You've seen me use this. I have this in my Milwaukee gun as well. And if you get this stuff all over your hands and everything, it is really, really, really super easy to clean up. So that is why we have switched to this. Plus, I think it's a hair bit, I think it's a skosh cheaper too. I don't know, but we might as well just take that. And I don't know why we have, oh, I know why we got a partial tube here. For like, if you need to put grease like on a bolt or something, that is why that partial tube is there. I'm gonna run over, get some grease, and we will see just what else happens today. I'm not too entirely sure. I know that is gonna sit right where it is. I'm not gonna do anything with it, because like I said, why make more work greasing the thing when we're just potentially going to be tearing it right apart, and that is no good. It is just wasting grease and things like that. I will take you into building here and show you just what I mean by that. On this loader tractor, for example, because this is a good reference point that I can use, is when it comes to greasing things like this loader, you guys can barely see the grease right there, and you only need 3 pumps of grease. Okay, why this is starting to come loose, I do not know, but you can hear the grease in there and the grease in there. If these did not ride on grease, okay, if this whole loader did not ride on grease, you can see right there, yes, we got a little bit of rusting right there. I don't know what has caused that, but that is not good. This is a result in 3 pumps of grease, okay? You do not want to sit there and, you know, just pump the living crap out of the grease gun, because, you know, it will just waste the grease, okay? You can see right there. I mean, yeah, it's going to puke a little bit of grease, but, you know, it is what it is. You do not want to see big globs of grease on your paint and or things like that. Same way with this up here. This is unavoidable with a loader. That is why you only put 3 pumps of grease in everything. Same as that John Deere skid loader that just got painted, because we want to try and keep the thing from having to degrease years and years and years of mud when it comes, or grease when it comes time to degrease a thing. Okay, and it'll not move up here because the pin is tight. Yes, it rides on grease. If this thing did not ride on grease, the whole loader would wear out in under 1,000 hours. That's just the long and the short of it. I might be a little bit exaggerating there, but I know for a fact that there is truth to that. So I want to show you guys just on this skid steer what I mean by, if you overgrease, you will have a complete nightmare for yourself when it comes time to clean the machine and things like that. If you overgrease, there's a pin back in there. You can kind of see the grease fitting. If you just sit there and pump grease into that fitting, you know, 10 pumps or whatever, that is over greasing. A pin of that size right there only needs 3 to 4 pumps. Okay, I might be wrong on the 4 pumps, but please correct me, because if you over grease, again, it just makes it that much more harder to get the grease off of stuff. And we have had guys run equipment that, you know, if they cannot get a grease fitting to take grease, like especially on this mount plate. Yes, I have it at the wrong spot to be able to show you guys, but, you know, there's a grease fitting. And right down there. Right down there. There's one here. There's one up here, and there's one down there. We have had guys refuse to grease the mount plate on the other machine, okay? When they get to a grease fitting that would not take grease, they just wouldn't even bother changing it. Now, in the machine's defense, the other machine, we're not talking about this machine. In the machine's defense, okay, it lived its whole life in a sand and gravel pit. So, cleaning up around the wet plant and things like that, it was constantly in the sand. And it had a hydraulic quick attach on it, which means there is a, well, I don't know how well I can show you. Yes. Okay, it means this here that comes down and grabs the bucket. This part is hydraulic, okay? That part is hydraulic quick attach. It has a cylinder inside of it that when you push a button inside the cab, it, you know, locks your bucket to the attachment, so you can use your attachment like such. When you push the button the opposite way, it unlocks your attachment with not having to get out of the seat, okay? So, with that being in mind, you have to grease that quick attach every 8 hours, okay? Again, those guys did not grease it. They did not grease the pins. When you would put pallet forks on a skid loader or a dirt bucket to clean up, the dirt bucket would just be all loosey, floppy, goosey, and it would just flop all over the place. And, you know, well, let's go for a walk, because I do better when I walk and talk, okay? Because I told them guys, I was like, hey, put some grease in that thing. And they, you know, kind of snarled and everything, like, you know, who are you to tell me what to do? Well, you know, it's all because I want to try and keep things from getting any worse than they are. And even when there wasn't somebody around to hold their hand to babysit them, you know, while they were greasing that skid loader, whenever they would get to a grease fitting that just wouldn't take grease, we just wouldn't grease it. That's how they did things, okay? Costing us money, having to buy new pins and bushings for that mount plate. It was an aggravating job. I think I got pictures somewhere of the pins and bushings that come out of that loader. Yes, these are the pins and bushings, or the pins that come out of that quick attach. This one down here, the picture up top here, does not really show any justice, but that is not dirt right there. Right there, right where my fingernail is. That is not dirt, that is the pin. Okay? These guys did not grease this thing, and that is what happens to pins when you do not grease that quick attach. All the pins and bushings were shot in it because nobody greased it. Even, you know, every 8 hours. There were a couple of times that we slipped and didn't do every 8 hours, but hey, it was, you know, not neglected, and or I mean, it was neglected. That is why it is really, really, really important to grease the equipment. That is why it is also really important to not over grease the equipment. So I'm gonna run over and grab some grease, and we will catch you guys in the next video. I can't believe I made a video already, but that is what happens when you leave me yammering on for, what has it been, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Yeah. Okay, so I got my nice box of grease over there. Yes, I know it's been used into, and a nice kitty cat over there, but we're gonna go take his grease back to the farm where it belongs, and it would help if you put the thing in reverse like you're supposed to, so you do not run into the building.